TernsCheese is a Fortnite creator known for his incredibly anti-grass touching lifestyle that he leads in order to get quadruple digit levels in his game of choice. Recently, he's found himself in the midst of some pretty serious allegations. Just like every innocent man, he's hightailing it, well, as fast as the gamer leg can carry him, to the hills, with the nuking of all his social media. Now, these allegations we have that have come to light are pretty serious, but first, before we start that, we have to get into the head of this guy to see exactly where he was at when all of this transpired, and let me tell you, you fellas aren't going to envy his lifestyle. In fact, if you're eating something while you watch, good luck. So, TernsCheese would be born February 7th of 2008, making him 18 years of age now, and growing up, with everything he's been posting on the internet since he was pretty young, it'd be fairly evident that he'd hardly ever be told no. He'd mostly walk all over his parents and do whatever he wants. In fact, in order to put up the numbers that he does on Fortnite, I'm fairly certain he's dropped out of school. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, McGrubba, well, that would be awesome if I was a kid, if I had parents who never told me no, let me do essentially whatever I wanted, and wait on me hand and foot buying me whatever foods I desire, as much V-Bucks as I want. That'd be awesome. But no, growing up like that, all it does is let bad habits spiral, such as laziness or really anything that he shouldn't be doing, just ends up getting way out of hand when no one's there to tell you no. And due to that parenting style and losing his dad sometime around 2021, whether that be due to an arrest or him passing away is still up in the air, but either way, that coupled with the loss of a parent, it's just made an incredibly terrible environment for a kid in the prime of his formative years. And wouldn't you know it, in these perfect years, he would also be around 9 to 10 when Fortnite came out, when Fortnite was in its prime. Another amazing game that'll lead to amazing habits down the road, getting him addicted to things such as microtransactions and whatnot. And again, I'm not defending the guy by saying he was raised awfully, so it's not his fault. It is his fault. He is genuinely a terrible person. It's just interesting to take a look back and see maybe why that might be. But despite him blowing up for these recent allegations, blowing up for how unhealthy he is and the way that he lives, along with his appearance, Terns is seemingly no stranger to this kind of allegation. And that's incredibly apparent when you look back at 2021, where he would go ahead and stalk this nice young woman for 2 months and threaten on multiple occasions to R-word her, unalive her in all these screenshots I have for you. So we have Terns here on one of his Discord accounts messaging Kenzie, "Shut the F up before I R-word you in front of your whole family while watching them scream as you slowly unalive. Then I skin you alive while vigorously gooning to your screams. Then I hang your corpse to a tree and R-word it again. Then cook it and eat it. You better watch the F out. You C-word." Now, I don't mean to downplay or make this goofy at all, I'm just censoring there for YouTube, but this is some incredibly alarming stuff to see coming out of a 12-year-old. I mean, what 12-year-old hasn't made a couple prank phone calls in their day, maybe send a few prank text messages from a burner account to some of their friends or something? This is on a completely different level, threatening this girl's life, threatening to do that to her. I mean, most 12-year-olds probably shouldn't even know what the meaning of some of these words are, but here he is, displaying he knows those words all too well, and it continues. Where Terns goes, "Well, you shut the F up then maybe I'll leave her alone. Do we have a deal? Or do I need to take further measures? I'm thinking of paying Aunt Laura a visit IRL. It would be fun, eating some ice cream, watching the sunset. That's after the torture is over. Kenzie, I am coming for you. Might not be today or tomorrow. Soon enough, I'll be there." Hello there, Terns here. Very hidden name, haha. You'll never escape from Terns. Vengeance will hereby be mine, November 24th, 2021, 8 p.m. BST, 23/12/74. Then, of course, we have here him just saying, "I will R-word you, Kenzie," over and over and over and over again on another alt account. So all that I just read to you makes it incredibly apparent that this guy wanted this girl to fear for her life. Now again, he was 12 years of age when all of this was going down, but I don't want you to entirely excuse it just because of his age when this was going down, because this was very apparent. This kid was messed up around the time of doing this, and unfortunately you guys will find out he never really left these ways behind. And I just can't highlight enough how so early on he was such an incredibly sick and twisted individual. Knowing what I already knew about Terns, reading through everything on Twitter, everything posted about him already. I knew he was such an awful guy, but I was still flabbergasted when I first read the harsh and disgusting words coming out of this guy when he was so young. And it really goes to show, too, how unsavable he is at this point if he's so set in his ways. But despite as evident it is that he never really got enough attention after this incident to, change his ways, better himself as a person, Kenzie, even though going through the targeted harassment that she was, had the resolve to send the screenshots I just read on over to his mom, along with letting her know everything that was going on in that situation. And Terns' mother, in response to all this, would be incredibly flabbergasted that her son was capable of that and profusely apologize. Reading, "Hi, I'm so sorry. I didn't know about any of this. I have taken his phone off of him. He's 12 years old and autistic and shouldn't be on there. Please accept my apologies, and I will be sure that his uncle, who is DI or DL from Merseyside Police, talked to him. I've tried to place a message on the Discord to explain. I explained I'm his mom and apologized for his behavior. I didn't appreciate that they have, however, used pictures of myself and my husband's pictures and vile comments also. These two will go to my brother to sort of identify them. Again, please accept my apologies. I am horrified for his behavior. Please, if you are on this Discord group, could you please pass on my apologies? And assure them that he will be dealt with, but that I would appreciate if they didn't use our pictures. And then please be assured he will no longer be allowed to use Discord, so after this point it won't be him, as it seems anyone can use anybody's name on there. You'll have to excuse me, I don't understand Discord, etc. XXX, if there are any other issues, please message me," to which Kenzie replied, "Thank you so much, I appreciate it so much." So, horrified of what her son's capable of doing online, she'd take Discord and most likely his devices away from him. And considering how chronically online he was at this time, or at least his entire life, this must have been incredibly devastating for him, and some of the most real consequences he's ever had to face. So, a little after all this transpired, Terns had his phone taken away from him, the internet access, I believe, cut from him. In essence, his whole life was essentially stripped away from him after that incident with that girl. In 2024, Terns would post addressing all of these allegations. I believe people were digging them up from 2022, and he wanted to set the record straight about what really happened. Although, if it wasn't fairly evident from the screenshots I showed you, it was him that was doing all this. That was his mom responding to him. But we'll go ahead and read what Terns had to say about all of that. "Hey guys, I decided to make a thread addressing all the allegations against me and breaking down how they are fake and how I'm innocent. Here is a story of what really happened originally back in 2022 that started the controversy surrounding me. I made a Discord account back when I wasn't old enough and I was in a big-ish Fortnite League server. They knew I was underage, but they let me stay. Somebody must have reported it as the whole server was banned forever a few days later. When I turned 13, I made a new account and joined Discord again and got recognized by some people from the old banned server. They recognized me in a server I was an admin in, and they decided to make fake screenshots of me threatening to R-word someone and send them to the owner/other admins. The other admins saw this and banned me from the server. The same group of people kept following me around and started doing the same thing in other servers too, telling admins I was a bad person and showing them fake messages to quote-unquote prove it. One day, this happened in the iFireMonkey server. Once I was banned, they for some reason started raiding the server and spamming very messed up things with my name and profile picture, pretending to be me. FireMonkey thought it was me, and he found a lot of information about me. I even heard iTalk was involved too. They found my parents' email addresses and sent them a lot of emails telling them all the messed up messages that supposedly I sent, which I didn't. My parents didn't believe me, so they took away all my devices and the servers were still getting raided, so obviously it couldn't have been me. After this, it sort of died down. A couple months later, I started being active on Twitter again, and on the first day of I just think it's kind of funny that the major events in this guy's life where he can recall time periods of big events like Fortnite chapters, but whatever. Fortnite Chapter 3, Season 3, I posted my level 150 picture and decided to hide the method. Somehow, iFireMonkey saw this and decided to reply to me with the method I was using, as a way to show everyone. He must have recognized me from Discord, as he also replied with pictures of the fake messages and screenshots. A lot of my followers saw this and very quickly decided to try to cancel me for being a bad person. I tried to defend myself, but nobody believed me. So I ended up deactivating and I returned a few months later. People realized how powerful fake screenshots are and how easy it is to make them, which is why people still make fake screenshots and fake messages in an attempt to cancel me. I will show proof of this later in the thread. I would also like to state I am not a PDF file, and at the time of writing this, I am currently 16 years old. Starting with the allegations, the main one is a Discord screenshot in which I supposedly threatened a girl. I did not do this, nor did I write this. I will provide proof in the thread below of somebody admitting they faked screenshots of me. Another thing I'd like to address is the bird situation. People have accused me of finishing on a bird. This is not true. The image people use that is supposedly the bird in question is actually a dumb meme image I found on the internet a few years back. Again, I'll provide proof of this later in the thread. Incredibly interesting how serious he's taking these allegations, where he's lumping in him supposedly threatening and stalking a girl with something that you could probably very clearly say, like, what sane person would do that? There's no way I did that. I feel like the bird one is so outlandish that it should not have been lumped together with the R-wording one, which now almost makes me believe that he did do this to this poor bird. But what we're seeing here in pretty plain view is that when it gets down to it, when he actually faces consequences to his actions, even if it's years after the fact, he can't admit to doing anything wrong, and the words "I am sorry" will not leave his mouth. So despite Kenzie's efforts, even though he actually faced some consequences to his actions here, he just reverted right back to the awful person that he is, blaming everyone else but him. Moving on though, I think it's really important to highlight, especially since one of these photos in particular have been making its rounds all over Twitter recently, is the health of this guy in the state of his room, because both him and the state of his room are just as disgusting as his allegedly predatory personality. Now, I'd like for anyone who's even a little squeamish to please look away from the screen for a minute here, because what I'm about to show you is this guy's awful back knee, formed from months of not showering and just festering and rotting in his gaming chair while he plays Fortnite for 22 hours a day. So right here, Turn says, "Look at my back, bruh, that's much worse." And we have more craters here than the surface of the moon. I don't want to look at this too long, and I don't even really want to make fun of the guy for this, because this is just honestly incredibly sad that he would neglect his health to a degree of literally most of his back being open sores, and he doesn't even care. All he cares about is playing Fortnite. All he wants to see is that number above his Fortnite character's head climb and climb and climb, and he'll put that above anything, even himself and his own health. Incredibly apparent here when he was having this conversation with someone about how it was all over the computer screen, referencing the fact that his back literally exploded and got who knows what all over his monitor, where he states, "My back always hurts, lol, it's full of holes. I don't care though, I'm level 3000 in Fortnite." And it's really true that he puts Fortnite above literally everything else in his life, because he's been claiming for years now that he'll spend upwards of 20 hours a day grinding Fortnite in order to get to those levels. Seriously, I can't highlight enough just how important Fortnite is to him, because he'd even go ahead and say, "I'm literally breaking down, I can't play Fortnite, they banned me for 15 days, I can't take this, I don't know what to do, man, F my life." Literally, he doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know what to do if he can't sit there and grind out Fortnite all day and do nothing but that and maybe eat. And I'm sure from this, since he clearly doesn't take care of himself or his own health, all you fellas watching this can only infer what his room looks like due to the way that he lives his life, and it's exactly what you would expect. Just some incredibly gross stuff, if I do say so. It does remind me of a certain someone that we like to cover on this channel too. But this little miniature heap he has going on, it has all sorts of things like rotting food sitting there open on his desk. There's trash all over the floor. The rest of his room isn't safe either. It's just literally everything in this guy's life besides Fortnite gets absolutely no attention from him whatsoever. I mean, he's so used to this life, this all feels so normal to him that there's absolutely no shame in him posting his awful room in order to brag about how good he is at Fortnite or how many levels he's got, which you don't even have to be all that good to get that many crowns in Fortnite, by the way. Literally, all he's accomplished is spend 20 plus hours a day on Fortnite. That's it. And when it comes to accomplishments in this guy's life, there's not much else besides stalking and horrifying that girl Kenzie with threats of violence. That's something that's never okay to do under any circumstances. You really can't stress enough just how worrisome the way he was acting at 12 years old was, because despite him being so young, you can't completely let the dude off the hook for that. I mean, at that age, you should for sure know right from wrong, and most definitely understand that what he said to that girl was horrendously wrong. I can't imagine having to deal with that guy for over 2 months, and from that horrible experience, Kenzie's prepared a reflective statement on that whole situation. Reading, "It's honestly really disturbing to me that after 5 years, nothing has changed, that he's continuing to harm others for his own disgusting motives. Those 2 months of my life were really stressful. I was on edge at every single moment of the day, no matter where I was or what I was doing. Yes, it may have just been online, but regardless, no one likes to receive threats as extreme as that, let alone on the daily. I'm glad he's being exposed for the terrible human being that he is, and hopefully no more innocent people get harassed or victimized by him." I'd like to align myself with that sentiment too, of hopefully there are no more victims of his that come out of the woodwork, especially since all of his social medias got nuked by him. We can only hope, but unfortunately, there were seemingly a few other victims of his that came after Kenzie up until this recent expose, and that's what we're going to talk about now. So, Twitter user WoofingX would make an expose thread highlighting everything that they witnessed being a close friend to Terns, where they would say, "I'm showing you how he lives his daily life. It's disgusting, and in general stuff that he's been exposed for in the past, in a personal issue between me and him, which started this fallout in December of 2025. Again, I've been one of his close friends from the very start. I know a lot about him, and this is just the beginning, unfortunately." One thing to note going into this, I started to question it a little bit as to why, if he had all this information about how horrible a guy Terns was, why he didn't come forward or why they didn't come forward sooner, because why would you wait for a falling out to happen to come out about this? I mean, if you knew he was such an awful person, why stay friends with that person? The thread would go on to talk about how awful his living situation is and how gross he likes to keep his room, something we touched on earlier, but this video would really highlight it, especially since he was talking to a 13 to 14-year-old in this Discord call while being 18.
Are you so slow at eating, Terns? You have to put them on a...
What is that?
What the fuck? It's a leg crust, bro.
Oh my god, bro, your legs are so big.
Shut the fuck up, bro.
They are, bro. No weird shit.
Level 154. It actually kind of got cleaned up, actually. Like, Jane, it actually got tidied up.
No, pick up the Xbox thing.
Well, actually, right. Give me a sec. I have to just, like, throw that there, I guess. Oh, fuck, I don't even know, bro. There's so much shit on the floor. But yeah, bro, I mean, it's not even insanely bad right now.
You look like the average Discord mod, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, but yeah, right? Right. The thing on the walls he was on about. I think he means the mold. I don't know or not.
Oh, why is there black fucking mold in your room?
Oh, because
Why
he
not,
drops,
bro?
like, soda cans and he doesn't clean it up for months on end, so it's just like...
Yeah, like...
Which again is absolutely horrifying to see the conditions of his room. I'm really surprised this guy hasn't come down with something that's kept him in the hospital away from Fortnite for months. I mean, if you look at the wall for even a second, that's worse than Nova's blood wall that he's got going on in his trailer home. Moving further down the line in this thread though, Woofing would say, "These are DMs he sent to me back in 2022. This was to my now suspended account. I can still scroll to these DMs if needed." Because what would a predator be if they weren't also a little racist too? So we've got some stuff sent over, such as a screenshot of what's suggested to him when he types the phrase "I hate," which is just the N-word is the first suggestion. So if you're not familiar with it at all, your phone's keyboard does pick up on your typing tendencies or your habits when it comes to your texting, and it remembers the things that you say fairly often. So you have to be typing something like that pretty often for your phone to recognize that that's something that would be common for you to type. And then, of course, there's about cheese pizza, just really not helping his case here with all this predatory stuff coming out about him. Continuing on, Woofing posted, "This is other DMs, which is supposedly to a minor. This was 2025, just to let y'all know. The person wanted to stay anonymous, but apparently they dated for 2 weeks back in 2025. And again, remember, this guy's birthday was February of 2008, so he was 17 around then. But depending on the age of how young this person was, I'd still consider this pretty predatory. But again, we really don't know the exact age of this person. It's just a little alarming to see him love bombing someone who we're going to presume is at least younger than him. With him saying, I love you too, I love you so much, I love cats, I love you so much, I love you so much. But then, with as suspicious and weird everything that Woofing post about Terns was, we have someone replying to that post who came out with their own experience with them saying, I've associated with Terns for almost half a year now and have known none of this. I'm 14 years old and trans. When I was in his server, he gave me 2 e-kitten rolls and would DM me basically asking me to meow. Honestly, I don't know how I didn't see it coming that he'd be a pred. So first we have Terns sending her this anime girl saying, this is you. Then we've got, you should post more cat stuff. Star, yes. How are you doing? Okay, I guess. Want to play Fortnite again? Maybe in 2 hours, okay. So pretty tame stuff it seems like, but again, this is a 17-year-old talking to a 13-year-old at the time, so which is most concerning because he gave this person the e-kitten roll, 2 e-kitten rolls on their Discord server. And then we have here some discourse about femboys and cat girls, because if you guys know Terns, he loves his femboys apparently, and he'd say, it'd be so adorable, what's better, cat girls or femboys? Star says both, but if you had to choose, cat girls, he said, the best cat girls are ones who need lots of care and attention and meow a lot and purr a lot. And I merp a lot and are needy all the time and meow. Again, this is pretty weird stuff. It's pretty serious stuff too. I'm just laughing at the absurdity of the way that he goes about carrying on his friendships as a 17-year-old or 18-year-old man around the time of these messages. It's just so scary to see that around every corner, there's another guy like this who only washes himself a couple times a year, spends all day playing video games, and talking to people way too young for him to be talking to. We just happened to luck out this time for this person to just completely disappear off the internet after everything came forward, and hopefully it stays that way because it's pretty evident for years now that he really can't help himself with either threatening people or allegedly victimizing people who are far younger than him on the internet. With how appalling some of these videos were that I showed you, some of the photos I showed you guys today, I hope you still found a way to enjoy yourselves. I hope you guys are having a great day. And if you feel a grub deserve it, don't forget to like and hype up the video, and maybe even subscribe if I was just that awesome today. Later, Grubbas.
Yo, absolute gooner 1, 2, 3. It's coming, bro. Bang, 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 you're dead.